call me a banana, because baby, it's time to split. Okay, that was admittedly corny. That was not my best work. But if you are a TikTok user in the US, ownership has officially changed. And the US version of TikTok, which is now divested fully from the rest of like Chinese TikTok, because China was the first original owner. All that's happened. New ownership. Larry Ellison, CEO of Oracle, is now in charge, and they've rolled out a new terms of use policy that has a lot of TikTokers riled up. But there might be some places for you to go for alternatives, and we're going to get into all of that after the jump. Hey, what's up there, newsies? I'm Skylar the Writer. I'm so glad to be back here with you. And yeah, in case you haven't heard, TikTok has officially now changed hands. It is now part of Larry Ellison's empire, which is problematic to say the least. And a lot of folks are have legitimate concerns about that and are wondering, like, well, what do we do now? Where can we go? And thankfully, there are some alternatives that are worth you at least checking out, right? So we're going to get into all of that. But first, a quick history lesson. We're just going to go super quick through all of that for those in case you don't remember, right? Or in case you need a refresher. So obviously, with the issues happening in Palestine in regards to the genocide of Palestinians at the hands of Israel and funded by the United States. This particular genocide began after the October 7th, 2023 attacks, when Hamas attacked the Nova Music Festival, which is like at the edge of Israel, right at the Israel-Gaza border. To my understanding, like the Gazans could like literally like hear and see and peek through the wall and hear through the wall the actual concert on land that I think like technically used to be part of their homeland. This all goes much further back, like to 1948 and the Nakba, when the Israeli army came and displaced like around like 700,000 Palestinians. It was basically murder, mayhem, and ethnic cleansing, and forced them into Palestinians into either Gaza or the West Bank. It has just been conflict after conflict in those years since, in the 76 plus years since. And, now we're here, right? It's estimated that there could be as many as 680,000 or more Palestinians who have been slaughtered during this genocide, most of whom are buried under the rubble and haven't been officially counted yet. And that may or may not even include the people who died from secondary causes during the genocide, such as starvation, disease, things like that, right? Like they died, but not directly from a bullet or a bomb. So anyway, that's the quick history on that. Then, after Israel's retaliation for October 7th began, which is, since, essentially become a genocide, U.S. politicians, particularly Zionist politicians, right? People that believe that Israel should exist and should exist as a strictly Jewish state or Jewish powered state. U.S. politicians started feeling uncomfortable at the amount of Americans, particularly young Americans, but Americans in general, who were learning more about the history of Israel and Palestine and the things leading up to both October 7th and the broader genocide of the Palestinian people. And they didn't like that people were seeing images from the genocide, right? They didn't like that Americans could see what is happening in damn near, and actually in some cases, actually in real time, right? Like there were incidences of people literally streaming their own demises in Palestine, whether they were reporters, regular people. We saw so many horrific incidents. There's incidents of a I think it was a 19-year-old Palestinian man who burned alive after the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, bombed the medical tent that he was in while he was recovering from a previous bomb attack in another location in Gaza. And the poor boy was like holding on. He still had his IV drip connected to his arm as he walked his final steps on fire, mind you, with the IV drip still in, right? We saw that because of social media, and chief among that was like TikTok. A lot of people say that this has been the first live stream genocide. Well, when people see that, and then people start saying, hey, why is this happening? Let me do some research. And they start learning more things about how Israel's influence over United States politics, how much money the United States has been giving Israel, not just during the ongoing genocide. They say there's a ceasefire. Israel has violated it like over 500 times. Maybe there ain't no ceasefire. They just killing Palestinians at a little bit of at a slower pace. But anyway, people are looking into that and they're like, wait a minute, why does the United States give Israel billions and billions of dollars? Why does the United States give our tax dollars to a country that has universal health care, but we don't have that here in the United States? Why are we, why is the average college graduate tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, but Israel, we're giving money to Israel, a place that has subsidized college, a place that has subsidized. We have a huge homelessness problem, but not only do they have subsidized housing in Israel, they're literally still stealing Palestinian people's homes, kicking them out, evicting them from their own homes, and giving those homes to Israelis, be they, longtime Israelis or new transplants from other places. So people are asking these questions, and these questions started from people doing research, and that research started from seeing these horrific images, oftentimes from seeing these horrific images on social media. And so politicians didn't like that. Hillary Clinton, I'm paraphrasing, but she was just a few months ago, was like, we need to get a hold of social media. Otherwise we won't have control at all. There was Mitt Romney. He's had a similar, opinion about that, saying that, we gotta stop TikTok. And then you really saw Democrats and Republicans, coming together on this. And this is just another example of when people talk about the freaking Uniparty, talking about how, we need to get control over TikTok. We got to stop TikTok. We got to, the young people they're reading too much. They're learning too much. We got to stop TikTok.
I wonder why there was such overwhelming support for us to shut down potentially TikTok or other entities of that nature. If you look at the postings on TikTok and the number of mentions of Palestinians relative to other social media sites, it's overwhelmingly so among TikTok.
And so then you saw this push to either dismantle TikTok completely or carve it out away from its Chinese ownership to have an American entity own American TikTok. And then everybody knew that meant that they were going to want to control the algorithm and prevent American citizens from seeing these things, right? They wanted to throttle that information. They wanted to push forward a pro-Israel narrative and stop us from seeing the horrors that were being perpetrated by Israel against Palestine and that are being funded by American tax dollars, an American military, and American weapons, right? And this started under Biden. Under Biden's administration. So we can't even say that this is like Trump did this. No, this finished under Trump. This started under Joe Biden. So on January 22nd, TikTok ownership put out, after the TikTok ownership officially changed hands to Larry Ellison, the CEO, founder of Oracle, tech giant. I think he's like one of the richest men in the world. I think he might be ranked number 2. After he purchased TikTok, TikTok rolled out a new terms of service policy that anyone who logged into TikTok on January 22nd saw. And that terms of service policy had a lot of people scratching their head. A lot of people didn't notice it. They just clicked yes and moved on, as one does when you see, that tiny little boilerplate language that you normally don't have a choice to ignore. But Eagle Eye folks are like, wait a minute. And so it says this is what these messages said, right? It said, so updates to our terms of service and privacy policy. We are updating our terms of service and privacy policy, both as linked, effective January 22nd, 2026, to reflect changes, including updated corporate entity, new types of location information, including device geolocation we may collect from you with your permission, and how we may use your information we have collected or will collect to show you ads outside of TikTok. To opt out of these ads, tap here. By clicking below, you agree to the updates to our terms of service and confirm your privacy settings. So those settings were, It really made you sort of feel like, what's going on here, right? What's going on? I ain't gonna lie. I tried to log out of the app, or and then I began thinking to hope like maybe I could like scroll past the having to click on this, right? You couldn't get any further. You couldn't log in until you accepted those terms of service. So, the name of this new ownership is officially TikTok USDS Joint Venture LLC, officially established on January 22nd, with American investors holding about 80% of the venture, and then ByteDance, which is the company that owned TikTok, retaining 19 or about 20%, nearly 20%. Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX each hold 50% as managing investors. And this was after there was an executive order from Trump that had been signed like back in late 2025. So that's like the corporate entity piece. That's who technically owns American TikTok now. But yeah, so these terms of service are kind of got people feeling like what is really going on. It basically, in addition to that, it basically says that like TikTok can use your content however they want. They can use it for AI however they want. They can track your location however they want. And they can even track information about you, such as your, sexuality, gender expression, things like that, right? That really have people feeling really uncomfortable, right? It really feeling like this is not something that I want the likes of Larry Ellison, someone who has openly said repeatedly that he wants to create a database that tracks everyone, literally every American, for the sake of, preventing crime. The TikTok policy also includes, and this I think some of it was actually included in their policies before the change with Ellison, but or at least this last change with Ellison, right? This official, January 2020 22nd message. But the TikTok policy also includes, like I said, information about your sexual and gender identity, your citizenship, even your mental health diagnoses, right? So anything you talk about on there, it will very likely be going into that database for Larry Ellison's Oracle. TikTok can reserve the right to scan the content from users. Again, this includes posts, your comments, audio messages, even your DMs, live streams, right? Whenever you go TikTok live, and other what they deem as quote unquote virtual items, to collect all of that information, right? To pull that information together, right? So that's a huge problem there. That it is ridiculous, and you can actually see a lot of this in the there's a great Mashable article that digs into the details about this. It's called TikTok's new terms of service and data collection, TikTok just changed its terms of service. What does that mean for your privacy? So highly suggest that you guys go and check that out for a lot of additional details. But that's basically the gist of it, and so folks are concerned, right? And we've already seen people. There's people like your favorite guy. That's his screen name. That's Mr. Guy Christensen, a popular TikToker, social media star who gained prominence during 2023, 2024, and onward, talking about the genocide in Palestine, Gaza, West Bank, and how already his views have started to be throttled. We're already starting to be throttled on TikTok. We saw the same thing with other prominent TikTok users like I Am Blakely, another similar leftist streamer, and others, right? Who are like, wait a minute, why does it seem like all of my content speaking about the genocide or whatnot, and what political content is starting to be suppressed? There are even people saying that even the search results were starting to be pushed, right? Like I saw a video just yesterday from someone showing how searches about why Israel is great or why you should love Israel were pushed to the front, to the top of the searches all of a sudden after January 22nd. So, that's what they were saying in their video. I don't know if that's the case, but, it's a lot of a lot of questions people are having, and a lot of people feeling uncomfortable, right? And we'd already started seeing, even before this transition was completed, we'd already started seeing changes to the app and things that were being flagged, or videos that were being censored or taken down because they might have been critical of, certain policies, whether they were Israel's policies, even, whatever. And now it's just getting way, way out of hand. And peep this clip from TikTok USA's new CEO. Like I said, Larry Ellison's the primary owner, but peep this clip from what the TikTok CEO said about how they're handling the usage of the term Zionist, and how
we made a change to designate the use of the term Zionist as a proxy for a protected attribute as hate speech. So if somebody were to use Zionist, of course you can use it in the sense of you're a proud Zionist, but if you're using it in the context of degrading somebody, calling somebody a Zionist as a dirty name, then that gets designated as hate speech to be moderated against. Over the course of 2024, we tripled the amount of accounts that we were banning for hateful activity. We also have, I think, over 24 Jewish organizations that are constantly feeding us intelligence and information when they spot violative trends. There is no finish line. There's no finish line to moderating hate speech, identifying hateful trends, trying to keep the platform safe. There's no such thing as an end game.
So a lot of folks are rightfully upset about these changes. They're rightfully upset about the lack of privacy and concerned about this database that Larry Ellison wants to put together using everybody's TikTok information. But like, if you want to stay on social media, if you want to have that same connection, what can you do about it? Well, you're in luck, because not only are there alternatives for you, but I'm about to talk about some of them here. So let's get to what you can do about all of this mess. The first option I want to talk to you about is an app called UpScrolled. Currently, UpScrolled is the number 2 app in the Apple App Store, but you can get it in the Apple App Store or on Google Play. So it's available for both Apple and Android. UpScrolled is a new app, relatively new. It's been around for a few months, I would say, or it's been around for a while. But people are starting to really jump on it, right? So I Am Blakely has been on it for a few months. Guy Christensen is on it now. Sabby Sabs, another great, fantastic independent news and commentary journalist that I think you should check out. We've talked about her before on this show. Check her out, Sabby Sabs, on YouTube, SABBY, new word, Sabs, SABS. That's Sabrina Salvati. She's on UpScrolled now. So, it's another new platform. And, you can check it out here. You can check it out. Their website is upscrolled.com. We see here it says shadow banned elsewhere, not here. UpScrolled is a social platform where every voice gets equal power. No shadow bans, no algorithmic games, no pay-to-play favoritism, just authentic connection where your content reaches the people who matter most. Love it. Love it. It is really cool. They don't do any censoring. I don't think that means they allow hate speech. You have to check that out for yourself to see what the rules are on that. But it's a really cool app. I just got on it. Ford Up News is about to be on it, and just really, really cool. Here we're gonna go to their about section. So it says here, never bias, will always remain impartial to political agendas, conflicts, and unjust views. Fair algorithms, no unfair advantages for any content or groups. No shadow banning, will never shadow ban users or content. If you don't know what shadow banning is, basically, have you ever been on social media platform and you're like, wow, all of a sudden this week, it seems like I'm getting no views. No one's, not even that no one's not liking my post, but it says that no one's even seeing my post. There's a good chance you might have been shadow banned if you had previously, put out something that the site might have found problematic or, for whatever reason. So now they're just going to limit your reach. And they call it shadow banning because you're on the app. There's no known strike against you. But on the back end, they've limited your reach, and they've not even told you that they've done that. So that's where the shadow part of shadow ban comes. And then it says here, their stance, they will always stand with what's right and uphold social responsibility. Their mission, we exist to put fairness back at the center of social media. Every voice deserves real reach and equal treatment. No shadow bans, no hidden throttling, no pay-to-play favoritism ever. Again, we love that. We don't push political agenda, or we don't push agendas, political, commercial, or otherwise. Our rules are clear and applied evenly. Our ranking is explainable, our decisions accountable, and influence comes with responsibility. We're building a platform where visibility is earned, not granted, where authenticity beats spin, and where communities grow without gatekeepers. If that's the internet you want, join us. Anyway, so it was founded by a gentleman named Issam Hijazi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, y'all let me know down in the comments. But Mr. Issam Hijazi, founder and CEO of UpScrolled. Just a little bit about his history. Says the breaking point for him came in late 2023, so it's after October 7th. As global events unfolded, our founder, Issam Hijazi, a Palestinian, Jordanian, Australian technologist. Whoo, child, that's a lot of identities to pack. A Palestinian, Jordanian, Australian technologist with decades of experience at companies like IBM, Oracle, and Hitachi, watched firsthand as meaningful stories disappeared from feeds while misinformation thrived. And I can say this from my own experience as a social media user, seeing meaningful stories that were once on certain platforms, including YouTube, Twitter, so on, that were, once they're up and they gain traction and people were noticing them, all of a sudden they're just gone, right? And we're seeing more of that happening on TikTok now. It says here, that's when everything changed for Mr. Hijazi. Instead of sticking to the status quo, he rolled up his sleeves and decided to build his new kind of platform. And now we have UpScrolled. So, you can check it out. There's an advisory board for UpScrolled. All this is on their website. Again, UpScrolled.com. Again, you can also find them on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. So available for Apple and Android. They got the FAQs. Love it. Just UpScrolled imposes any censorship. Basically, nah. Like, UpScrolled is committed to protecting freedom of expression, but with that freedom comes responsibility, right? So we only restrict content that violates our community guidelines or broadly accepted legal and ethical standards. This includes content involving illegal activity, hate speech, bullying, harassment, explicit nudity, unlicensed copyrighted material, or anything intended to cause harm. So it sounds like you can't get your little Twitter porn freak on over on UpScrolled. And as long as you ain't bullying or, harassing people, you'll be fine. And then, of course, we don't censor opinions, but we do enforce a standard that keeps the platform safe, respectful, and responsible for all users. Please review our rules and policies for more details. So that's UpScrolled. Again, available on the Apple Store and on Android, Google Play Store. Another option is Spill. I love Spill. I'm on Spill, been on Spill for a minute. Spill is the visual conversation at the speed of culture, right? That's their tagline. Spill it's just like Twitter, and I believe was actually founded by someone who used to work at Twitter. But it is more of like a visual, immersive experience. So there's still text, like you're texting. Both these things both Spill and UpScrolled seem to have like a very Twitter, in terms of like how they're laid out type of thing. I'm still trying to figure out how UpScrolled fully fills the gap of TikTok, because it does seem to be a bit more modeled after Twitter, at least from my user experience. I've only been on it for a hot second. But Spill, on the other hand, while it still has like that Twitter kind of flow to it in terms of the stream of it, it is definitely more visual and a lot more vibrant in terms of like colors, the images and videos that you have. It's a very visual first platform, but it's still a platform for conversation. It's one of the, it's easier. It's best to just try it out yourself and to see if it's for you, but it really is pretty fantastic and, like I said, just dynamic all the way around, right? So like the Spill is a visual conversation at the speed of culture, and I think that definitely fits what they are and how Spill works. But very similar thing, right? And here we have some. I guess they have some scrolling spill. Do they call them spills? Do they call them teas? Because it's like you spill the tea. That's where the name "spill the tea" comes from. But yeah, so they've been around. I want to say since 2023 or 2024. They started getting a lot of traction when everybody was leaving Twitter after Elon came in. Mr. Apartheid Clyde was doing his thing and making people want to leave. So when people were leaving to like the likes of Blue Sky, they were also leaving to Spill. Spill, in my opinion, is much more cooler, just in terms of just the layout and everything. It is Black owned. We do just to make things awesome. What can I say? What can we say? But yeah, it's totally dope. Spill was founded by Alfonso Fons, nickname Fons Terrell. So Alfonso Terrell, co-founder and CEO of Spill. Previously, he was an award-winning marketing and content teams at Twitter, HBO, Showtime, and Sony Music. So he's definitely been in the entertainment and technology game for a minute. He is a speaker, techno-cultural evangelist, and he's been on different programs like Good Morning America, Roland Martin's show, and Cheddar News. He's even been a featured speaker at South by Southwest, so that's pretty cool. Also at Afrotech and Adweek conferences. So he's definitely, been making the rounds and stuff, but he is the fearless leader over there on Spill, and they are pretty much the same too in terms of like no real censorship out, obviously no hate speech, nothing like that. Very similar to UpScrolled, but they're very much about centering voices of people who want to share genuineness and genuine news and genuine vibes and genuine opinions and feelings. So yeah, check out Spill. Love it. Again, very visual, very immersive. It's been out for a while. I feel like a lot of times they don't get the same level of press that other alternatives were getting. So like Blue Sky, for instance, or Threads. Spill was out around that same time, but they didn't get the same amount of love. And in my personal opinion, I think it's because it was a Black-owned app. And so the majority corporate news was like, oh, we got Blue Sky, oh, we got Threads, and Zuckerberg and Blue Sky, and it's like, but then you have like this really kick-ass platform, Spill, that is like the others, but then so uniquely singular. I don't know. I think they deserve better coverage than what they've had so far. But yeah, check out Spill app. They're called the Spill Mob for all the Spill users, but that one you can also find on in the Apple App Store. I'm not sure if you can find them on Google. I'm not sure if Spill is on Androids yet. Initially, I don't think they were, and I think and also initially you had to be invited to Spill, but now anyone can just get up on there and join, to my understanding. So yeah, check out Spill if you're looking for an alternative to TikTok and even Twitter and all of that. So check them out, Spill and UpScrolled. UpScrolled, I think, is currently number 2 in the App Store, and they both have pretty good ratings too in the Apple App Store as well. So check them out. All right, newsies, that's all I got for you today. Let us know down in the comments what you think about all the changes to TikTok, the new ownership. Whether are you looking to leave the platform? Are you looking for a home for your videos and sharing information and communing with your communities? Let us know down in the comments. Or are you going to stay with TikTok? Let us know. If you bid on UpScrolled for a while or Spill, let us know also in the comments how your experience has been. Do you recommend it? What do you hope that features that they maybe bring to the platform? So just share in the comments. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We're going to be updating our social media, adding Spill and UpScrolled to our list, but you can also still follow us on our current platforms like Twitter and TikTok for now, just because I'm not sure what we're going to do with those. But yeah, you can follow us there, and you can also follow me on social media as well. I would love to see you and engage with you respectfully on those platforms as well. So that's all I have for you. That's all we have for you today, Newsies. So until next time, as we always say here, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. And if you can't do that, just shut the heck up. What are you doing? Like, seriously, it is not that hard to be nice to people. Don't just be nice. Damn it, be kind. All right. Until next time, Newsies. Peace.
Have you been in space?
No, motherfucker, we got bills and